of that kind of a joke probably in the 90s about, you would say like, oh yeah, I like pizza, in bed, What did you do today? Oh, I was on the phone, in bed. If you change it to in bed, it gets very funny. If you put with nuclear at the end of every sentence that Donald Trump says regarding the Russia-Ukraine war, it makes more sense. He said to Zelensky, you don't have any cards to play with nuclear. See what I mean? Putin is a strong leader with nuclear. What I've noticed is there's some channels on YouTube about how Ukraine is really kicking butt. And it seems like they are. They're the underdog. They jammed the signals of the Russians when they did a recent drone attack. I don't know which one it was, but it was very gutsy and very inventive. The problem is we can root for a side in a war, but war is run by the people who do not value human life. So we expend our lives and our light with a war for them. That's a problem. In my series on Ukraine, I show how the deep state has infiltrated Ukraine and practically controls it. They dictate who the president is. They dictated who the Treasury Secretary was. Under Poroshenko, who was before Zelensky, it was a Ukrainian American who was involved in, USAID in the 90s. And already there was an article about her doing some self-dealing with some of the money. She renounced her U.S. citizenship to become the Treasury Secretary of Ukraine under Petro Poroshenko, the bakery scion, the big guy that was always shaking Biden's hand, the one that folded when he said, you're not getting $1 billion. Well, Natalie Jaresko, when Zelensky won, which is a whole other thing, she went to Puerto Rico to oversee the bankruptcy of Puerto Rico. Since 2 months after the invasion by Russia, she's been back in Kiev heading up the Aspen Institute Kiev and fundraising for the war effort. And on these channels, they're saying that Ukrainians are really outsmarting the Russians in a lot of ways. And I don't doubt that. But what I'm realizing is Russia is much, much bigger than Ukraine. Russia has the whole Soviet arsenal, which was aging, but they've kept it up, and such a bigger army. So sure, you can bring down a Goliath, down a bear. With nuclear, that has to be a factor in all of the discussions. So hopefully this will kind of help us all to break through the programming just a little bit to see what's going on. So stay tuned and more soon. Above all, keep calm and share complete facts. And don't